Hey everyone, my name is Danilo Petrovic.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Denis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
We're back again in quick succession, and it's another draw preview, but this time we're jetting over to America, and it's the Delray Beach Open and another ATP 250 event. How are you feeling about this one, JG? Another interesting one. Men's tennis back again?
Yeah, it's another one. It's a tournament I watched quite a bit of last year because I remember we were just starting off the podcast. I think it was one of the first ones we really covered, to be fair, if I remember back. And I remember watching bits of it there, and I thought it was really good. I thought, what's his name? Nishioka really impressed me. I know he reached the final. He didn't win, but I thought he was really good last year. I like the whole look of the tournament as well. Nice weather. Loads of fans. Obviously, this year there's no fans. It's going to be pretty terrible. But yeah, we'll have a look. Let's go through the draw and have a look at some of the things.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, obviously, yeah, like you were saying, just when the podcast had kicked off last year, this was one of the one of the first tournaments we were sort of speaking about after the well, no, it was before the Australian Open, wasn't it, last year as well? I lose track of what was.
Mate, I don't know exactly, but it was one of the first ones, wasn't it?
But
give a shout out to some of the people here. We've got Melez, he's joined us for this one. How are we doing? We've got Jordan Santa. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, mate.
Jordan's back.
Almino, obviously. Jackie as well. And we've got Shaddai from Brazil. Oh, nice one. How are we doing, mate? There's got a good Brazilian clash in this one. Two Brazilian players heading off in the first round. Exactly. Davor Jovic as well. How are we doing, mate? So, yeah, greetings, everyone. And let's get straight into it. I think the best place to start here was going to look at some of the history of the tournament. It's quite fascinating to look at some of the previous winners. So I think if Ben gets it up there, I'll just share that. So we'll add that. So here you can see from 2010, here are some of the winners in the past. And let's see if you can spot the running theme between all of these players. Obviously, we've got Ernest Gulbis there. You've got Del Potro, Kevin Anderson, Gulbis again, Marin Cilic, Ivo Karlovic, Sam Querrey, Jack Sock. This is where the Americans really come into play recently. Querrey, Sock, TFO. Radu Albot then spoiled the party in 2019. But then Opelka come back fighting. Some of the finalists, Dan Evans there, Raonic. Karlovic again. And another one, Donald Young. Donald Young, he obviously went through the qualifiers. So we'll look at his result later on. Yes. He managed to win his last qualifier. So he's in the main draw. I think it's the first time in a few years, maybe since 2018. So credit to him. He's been working hard. He's on a good run of form as well, winning a few exhibitions and playing well. So we'll see what form he can come into this one. Obviously, only losing in 2015 in the final to Ivo Karlovic. Karlovic also reaching the final again in 2010. This time losing, wasn't it, against Ernest Gulbis, you see.
And another player who obviously likes here, and that's why he's back in the draw again for this year. Ivo Karlovic can't stay away from Delray Beach. Just loves sunning it up down there, I think.
Yeah, Shadow there saying Monteiro Bellucci, Battle of the Brazilians, for sure, mate. We'll get on to that one in a bit. Davor Jovic, big serve on Croatian. Yeah, that kind of is really the theme I was going for. A lot of the players here have a very prominent serve. Look at Kevin Anderson. Del Potro, even a very powerful player.
Yep.
Stock, Querrey, Opelka, obviously Karlovic, Cilic as well. There seems to be a bit of a running thing with these players. So is that going to come into play this year? You're looking at the draw. You got John Isner, the main seed. Surely you'd fancy his chances based off previous champions and runners-up.
Well, definitely. I think that there's obviously a few big servers in this tournament this year, like we just named. Ivo Karlovic he's back in there. He's over 40 years old.
How old
now.
Is he now, Karlovic?
I think he's over 40 now, Ivo. Let me I'll just fact check that for you.
I'll check now, mate. It's all right. So Karlovic is 41. Yeah.
There you go. You're quicker than me, mate. Right. So, yeah, he's 41. He's had an illustrious career. He's been around since the beginning of time, it seems, playing tennis. But there's a bigger bigger guys on the tour now. He's 6'10", and Riley Opelka just nudges up 1 inch above him at 6'11". And we got, don't forget, John Isner, who's up there as well. He's about 6'10" as well. Is he, John Isner?
He's around there, yeah. He's a big guy, isn't he? So you'd fancy his chances. Milos Raonic obviously reaching the final as well. So, like you said, I thought it was important to bring them up to start off with because there's some interesting names. And I think it's good to actually see who's playing in this tournament this year. And it's funny, you see some of the same names. They must love this place. Delray brings the same crowds, it seems.
It does indeed. Yeah, and it's very, very popular for obviously the US as well. They've had a lot of winners here. So I think Opelka...
Yeah, that's with the crowd. We've got to remember now, the crowd's not going to be there cheering on the players.
I think Opelka lives down the road from Delray Beach as well. Yeah, so I think it's like quite a good one for him. He just came off his doorstep and just won the tournament last year. So he'll probably be, well, I don't think he's not in this one, is he? I don't think.
No, Opelka's not.
It's a bit under him now these days. These 250s doesn't want to go in them. He's just thinking.
This is higher rank.
I know, it's true. I don't know what the issue is with Opelka with this one not coming to defend his title, but let's go and have a look at the actual draw though, because everybody's salivating at the possibilities.
Well, the qualifiers first. Let's go for the qualifiers first.
Can have a look at them first?
Yeah, there's only 4 of them, so there's 4 final qualifiers who went through today.
All right, just bear with me 1 second. Sorry, apologies. I had it on another tab on another screen.
No worries.
I'll just bring that one.
Also, there we can see we've got the top tippers. I know you said we didn't have them, but we've got top tippers here. We've got Ken Lee, he's number 1 right now, 11.97. Thomas Rock in 2nd place, and then Melez there, number 3. So that's our January tippers for 2021.
Indeed, it is.
Davor Jovic, they're giving some good information about Karlovic, saying Karlovic lives in Florida also, so he's not too far away as well.
They're loving it. They love the sun. Boy. That's why he's always there. He's always in the final. So here we go. Oops, apologies. There we go. We'll have a look properly at what was going on there in the qualies. So we just have a look at the final round of qualifying, shall we?
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go too deep.
Kevin King beat Oliveira. Oliveira, actually, he did beat Draxel yesterday. A bit of a shock. Was not expecting it to happen. Yeah. Oliveira's not been winning many games at all. Portuguese player. I saw Morgado speaking about him on Twitter. And he's not really a big Portuguese player who wins a lot of matches. I think he's inside the top 300, but a bit hit and miss. So surprised he got even to the final qualifier. Unfortunately, couldn't beat Kevin King. We've got Harrison. He managed to beat Kwon. Really good young tennis player, I believe. I think how old's Kwon?
Kwon, let me just bring that up for you. He's 18. Yeah, there you go.
18-year-old. He's a prospect, really, on the.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, he's an exciting player, and you can see there. Look how close it was. 2 tie breaks, really, what settled it.
Yeah. Really tough.
Very close. 9-11 and 7-4. So we'll see how it goes. Then Donald Young, obviously the finalist here. In 2015, I forget what dates it was. He's been a finalist here before, so fair play to the guy. Still playing now, and he's hit a bit of form. Beat Stefan Kozlov today in 3 sets, and I actually fancy his chances out of the 4 qualifiers. There, he's my favourite player who I think could actually make a dent in this tournament. Some of the others, I'm not so sure. Harrison's a good story because his brother's in the tournament as well. Was it Ryan Harrison, his brother?
Yes.
He's another. The other Harrison is also qualified in the main draw, and then Kyrgios beat Galovic. I thought that was a 50-50 match, and Kyrgios managed to win. Yeah,
well, Kyrgios is a very good player. More so on the challenger side of things, you'd say, but very good player. Did well, straight sets, so he'll be pretty fresh. And we don't know where the qualifiers are, where they're going to be placed in the draw yet, which is frustrating.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's annoying, isn't it? We was hoping that if we do it a bit later, we'll be able to know, because obviously all the matches have been played. It'd be nice to know where them 4 are going to be, but it doesn't really matter, to be fair.
No.
It's not the end of the world. We're going to go through the draw now and put in what we think. Feel free to join. If you want to join, it's completely free, so there's no reason not to. It's just the tennisdrawchallenge.com. I can put the link in the thing here.
Yeah, whack up the link just so that everybody who hasn't got involved yet, they can all jump in, because don't forget the time is ticking to get your... and don't forget to join ATP Antalya as well, which is the Turkish tournament, which is going on as well. We just did the draw preview for that about half an hour ago. Yeah. So jump in for both of those and see if you can test your might against JG and myself. So it will be, and if there's anybody... if there's anybody just listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Castbox, then it's just www.tennisdrawchallenge.com, and you just go into the group section and just find the GTL Tennis League, and just find us in there. So without further ado, I think we should go over to have a look at the actual draw, the main draw of Delray Beach this year.
Yeah, Jackie there's just saying Apelka is worried about COVID before Australian Open. That's why he's missing this tournament. Fair play. I think he's got bigger fish to fry, like you said.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, I think it's a wise choice to be missing.
Probably right in America as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just try and bring up the draw for you. Here we go. So we have a look from the top end of the draw. We've got Christian Garen, who is number 1 seed in this tournament, which it's a little bit of a strange one, isn't it? Obviously, he's a predominantly clay court specialist. He's out there on the hard courts. I'm not a biggest fan of him on the hard courts, if I'm honest. I know that he still has he's tons of ability. I'm just never blown away by him.
Did he beat Wawrinka recently on hard, or did he lose to Wawrinka? It was a very close match. Maybe he lost in the third set, but he played pretty well there. Yeah,
don't get me wrong. He has tons of ability, but whenever I see his name, I'll just straight away picture him on the clay.
Yeah. No, it's fair. It's a fair comment, mate. But that's exactly what I do with the man below him, Echeverry. I don't think I've ever seen him play on a hard court in my life. He's very much a clay court player. Surprised he's really in the tournament. I guess it just works out logistically where it is and the location. And I don't know. Maybe he's been training on hard. I'm not so sure. But he's going to be playing against a qualifier. And I'm actually going to go for the qualifier here. I'm hoping it's Donald Young or someone like that, because Echeverry, for me, doesn't have a great hard court record. So I fancy the qualifier to cause a bit of an upset.
You could be right. We've seen some very interesting... boy, like you say, you don't know which one it's going to be, do you?
Mino there saying he did beat Stan. Thanks for that, mate.
There you go. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with you. I haven't really seen Echeverry playing much on hard court either. I think I'm going to totally agree with you. He's going to be, whoever it is going to be facing Garen in the next round. The next one, we've got the wild card there being thrown in, which is Ryan Harrison, which is obviously, we just spoke about his brother, Chris Harrison, making it through the qualifiers. He's going to be up against Gianluca Mega. And Mega's very, very gritty. More of a clay courter as well, though, to be honest.
You can do a bit of both. Just a lower level for me. More of a challenger style player, isn't he?
It's really difficult because Ryan Harrison being at home as well is one thing that I'm always very, very cautious of backing anybody against the home person, because it just helps. I don't know how it helps, but it does.
Probably the conditions, the atmosphere, the whole conditions of playing. Probably they've played the tournament a few other times. They might have trained in the facilities there before. There's probably a range of factors, really, and probably just the comforts of it all. Playing in their own time zone, maybe family close by, home comforts, just little things like that. You never know.
Well,
but I agree with Miles. Major is no joke. He's a real serious player, and for that reason, I've got him to win that one.
I have as well, and plus, Ryan Harrison hasn't played tennis since July, so I don't think I'm going to be jumping on the back of that. I know that Mega did go out in Paris to Travaglia, but he did beat Galan Riveros. I know he's more of a clay court, but still, he was still in the Paris Masters and still playing well. So Mega goes through for both of us. So far we've got the same.
Yeah.
Next one, we've got big serving Sam Querrey up against Mackenzie McDonald, Macky.
Well, they found Query then. He's not gone missing for too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, there's a big incident there. I'm not sure how it ended, but I know ATP, they've released a statement the other day. It was a long message. I didn't actually read it, I'll be honest. It seemed a bit long for me. But he's probably being punished, I assume, for what he did. I know we've got James there, James 2X. How we doing, mate?
Hey, nice one.
And he's backing Mackenzie McDonald all the way. Reckons he can go the distance this tournament.
I'm backing
in this bet. I actually agree. I think I'm going to go with Macky to win this one.
I am as well, which is weird that we're all going with the same thing. I'm actually backing Macky, and I think that he is. Well, I think he's showed a lot of good form at the back end of last year. Sam Querrey, he's dangerous. I'm not going to lie. He can quite easily win this. He could easily win the tournament as well. I mean, it's well within his reach. But there's something about Mackenzie.
Was he not
McDonald.
on the list before, Query? I think he was a winner or finalist. I remember when we looked at the wiki.
Yes, he won in 2016 champion. He was. The one that
he's a former champion, Sam Query here.
Yeah, exactly. He did beat Rajiv Ram in the final, who more of a doubles player, really, for me, Rajiv Ram. So maybe not the strongest year that year. But we're both going for that. So we've got the same four. I don't know if you wanted to go through that little top section and say who you think is going to go through. We don't even know the qualifier on this one. I think I'm going to probably go with Garen, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going with Garen, and then I'm going for Mackenzie McDonald.
Yeah, same here, mate. I'm going to go with, I think it's a favourable draw there for Mackenzie McDonald if he gets past Sam Querrey. If we move down a little bit, we'll come back to those two. We've got Hubert Hurkacz, and he is got a bye in that first round. And the next one's very interesting. This is one of the interesting ones for me in the first round. Galan Riveros, Andre Martin. What do you think of that match?
Both clay courts, really. Yeah. But I think Galan's going to have a bit too much. I remember he beat, Cam Norrie in a really impressive match recently, and that really put him on the radar for me as like a player who can play at the next level. So I think he'll win. Yeah,
I mean, I think Andre is he's in and around the 100 mark at the moment, and yeah, I haven't really seen him produce anything on hard courts ever before, to be honest. So I'm going to go. That's only the reason I'm going for Galan in that one.
Yeah, and I think Mary there saying Query's an idiot. Not a fan of him. And I think he is as well. What he did just with COVID and that, it doesn't really make sense. Like, why is he fleeing around? Just stay where you are.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a crazy one, wasn't it?
Very selfish. It wasn't a good look for the sport. Wasn't a good look for him. And in essence, it put probably his family in a spot of danger as well.
Yeah, he got in a lot of hot water there, didn't he? Yeah. Next person up, guy we've had on the podcast, Noah Reuben, who's got a wild card into this event. He's going to be facing a qualifier.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Reuben purely for the fact that he's been on the podcast. Support our boy. We don't know who the qualifier is going to be. If it's like a Quiros or something, I think Reuben will be okay. Personally,
I think he's got all the game to be able to beat whoever comes through those qualifiers. To be honest, I think he's been and beaten bigger players than the people that are in the qualification. So,
I agree.
The next one's the big one, Big Evo. He's back again.
Well, this is where, for me, the first seed goes out of the tournament. I think Pablo Andujar's going to be dropping here. And the reason is, Ivo Karlovic, we looked at the form he's had in this tournament before, won the tournament before, reached the final. It seems perfect for him. The conditions, lives at Florida up the road. Perfect for him. And I think Ivo Karlovic, he might be 41 years old, but he's as fresh as a fiddle when it comes to Delray Beach.
And you'd think like... with someone like him, he couldn't wish to play anybody more than maybe more of a clay quarter. So I don't know, but they only played once before, and you'd be interested to know that Andujar actually beat him in straight sets as well. But close, very close. But
Andujar's more than capable. I'd probably say Andujar's a better tennis player. I'm just basing it off the fact that Karlovic, in the way this tournament is formed there previously, and is a big server. We've got Thomas Rock there in the comments saying, I've got Reuben in the final. He's going all right.
You never know, mate. You never know. He's just GTL through and through, Rocks. That's the thing. He can't help it. He's been watching the interview probably earlier, and he's just jumped on the hype train. But yeah, he's
Jackie there saying Evo's over the hill.
Yeah, he is a bit over the hill. But the reason that I'm picking Evo in this one is because I actually fancy a repeat of the 2015 final, which was Donald Young versus Ivo Karlovic. If we could get a repeat of that, if we could get a repeat, I don't know where Donald Young's going to be placed as a qualifier in this, but if we could even see them play again, that would be brilliant for the history books. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Karlovic just out of sentimental value and just. I don't know. There's just part of me that just wants him to. We're willing him to do well at this event. So,
for sure.
Next one. Well, I hope that it's not going to be whatchamacallit, who I was just talking about against TFO. I can't remember his name now. God, it's just slipped my mind already. Yeah, I hope it's not Donald Young playing TFO because I actually think TFO would beat him because I actually quite like TFO right now. So I've got TFO going through. This
TFO, he's done well in this tournament before. I don't know where he reached. Was he in the finals before? I forget. I think he's had a good run. I forget if maybe last year. He's a good player and he's hit some good form. He won it, did he?
2018, he won it. Yeah,
he's a 2018 champion. There's a lot of champions and runners up in this tournament. So for me, I think he's going to have a good run as well. I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Fratangelo, qualifier 4. I'm going for the quali 4. I'm going for Donald Young as well, hopefully.
I'm going to go with Fratangelo because I don't know which one it's going to be. I'm just, it's tough. I mean, it could be a 50-50, that one. This one, quite interesting. But I got to back the Brit. Cam Norrie, come on. Let's do it.
Yeah, I agree. Cam Norrie as well.
That's an interesting one in the next round, though. Adrian Mannarino, Cam Norrie. Oof.
Should we go at the top and just fill in some of the top ones? Because I know we're going through. If obviously we'll go down too much and it doesn't really make sense. So Herkaz Galan, is that your first one? Or is there not one?
I'm going with Herkaz. Nah, we did them already.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Reuben Karlovic.
I'm going to go Reuben.
So funny enough, this is where we have a bit of an ups. Oh no, I'll have to go for Herkaz as well. But with Herkaz Karlovic, I've got Karlovic to beat Reuben, and then I think Karlovic is going to beat Herkaz as well. I'm riding Evo all the way, man. I think he can do it again.
You think he's like 25 or something? He's 40. We just brought his age up.
I'll tell you someone who does think probably like me, and that's Tommy Cole. Yeah. If Tommy Cole's watching, he will be putting Evo Karlovic all the way.
And then Ken Lee's saying, big no. I don't know. Might be talking about something else.
Ken Lee probably not a big fan of him. I'm not the massive fan of his game style. I don't really like the big server, but Evo, I don't know. He's a bit of an old, wise head, really. He's been doing it for so many years. You've got to love him, kind of thing.
We got Macky versus Garen. I'm actually going to go with Mackenzie McDonald here. I just think that the home court advantage may give him the extra zip he needs to get past someone like Garen. So
yeah, I've got Garen to beat McDonald there. I think he's got enough. He's got a bit more ability and quality. Okay.
Let's move down. He probably does. But here we go. I'm going to go with Francis TFO moving through past Fratangelo. And I'm actually, this one's tough for me. I'm actually going to go with Mannarino, though.
It's 50-50, yeah. This is really tough, but I agree. I've got Mannarino as well.
Jackie's saying, JG, you've gone Doolally over Evo. Yeah.
Well, let us know, guys. Who do you have going all the way?
Yeah, come on.
We're almost getting to our semi-finals. I want to know what your semi-finals are. So let's get to that. No, oh, no, we've still got the last bottom bit. So at the bottom, we've got Tommy Paul, Ji-Sung Nam. For me, that's Tommy Paul all the way.
This one's the tie of the first round for me. We got Soon Woo Kwon versus Sebastian Corder. And contrary to what I said in previous, I'm actually going to go for Kwon to beat Corder.
Yeah, it's tough because I think I could see it happening. I'm just going to go with Corder. I know earlier on in the video, Thomas Rock said he's got Corder going all the way and winning the tournament. So
Did he?
I'm going to back Thomas, and go for Corder.
Wow.
I think Corder's got a good chance.
Wow, Corder to win the whole thing. Wow. And then here we go. We're finally coming up to the all Brazilian affair. It's Bellucci Monteiro. And this one, for me, is a little bit 50-50 as well, to be honest.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but I'm going to have to edge between the more experienced Monteiro. He's done it at a higher level for me.
It's a real tough one to call. He's higher ranked. He's obviously he's about 200 places above Bellucci. So surely that has to count for something. Thiago Monteiro goes through. I think it's going to be close. I think it could go to 3, though.
Listen to some of these combinations. Almino has got a Mannarino Garen final.
Ooh.
And Thomas Rock's clarifying there. He's got Corder to go the one win. Ken Lee also saying he loves Corder because Corder loves Rafa, so he'll back him anyway.
God, here we go.
Whatever Rafa's doing, he'll back him. So then you've got John Isner there, Monteiro. What do you reckon there?
I mean, for me, we've seen what happens in this tournament, and the big servers seem to love it. I'm going John Isner. The next one, if this happens, we get soon Kwon versus Tommy Paul, or even Corder versus Paul. Equally great matches.
Yeah.
It just depends which Paul turns up. Remember the Paul that turned up after the the break? He was a little bit on the heavier side.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing for me. I think Tommy Paul, I don't want to question his attitude off court, but I think he has the tendency to maybe get himself slightly unfit in a break. So it might take him a few weeks to get going. But when he's going, he's as good as anyone.
Oh,
he can win a tournament like this quite easily, I think, when he's in good form, playing well. But not for me. I think he's going out there, to be honest. And I'm going to have Corder beating him.
You're going to have Corder.
You've got Kwon soon doing it.
I'm going to do that because I'm not convinced that Paul comes back after the break very well after his last coming back after a break. He might have a bit too much turkey he's got to burn off. But we'll see. He might prove us all wrong. He might be there at the latter stages. So we've got
semi-finals now. So the top side of the draw for me, I've got Garen versus Karlovic in the first semi-final, and then the bottom semi-final. I don't know if you've done that yet.
No, not yet. So I'm gonna go with TFO to beat Mannarino, and I'm gonna go with. It's sad to say, but I'm going with John Isner to beat Kwon there. So I've got an Isner TFO All-American semi, and then I've got a McDonald Herkaj. So we're looking at 3 Americans in the last 4 there.
Yeah, I don't have the same, mate. I've literally got Garen Karlovic and Mannarino versus Corder.
Wow. That'd be very interesting as well. Herkaj McDonald, really tough to call. I think I'm going to have to make a big call here, though, because if I've got him going that far, I think he can beat Herkaj. I think Herkaj is sometimes he's just a big serve and not too much of a game. If the serve doesn't fire, doesn't have the game to back it up. So, and then on this side of it, this might shock you as well. I'm actually going for TFO to knock out John Isner.
Well, I've got Corder knocking John Isner out the round before. That's going to be a big ask for Corder. I just think he can do it. He's technically a better player for me than Isner in terms of he's got a bit more about his game than just the big serve that what Isner does. Isner's a better player, obviously, because he's able to utilize that big serve, and he's obviously been around for a while, a bit more experience as well. But I think that could be the big upset. And then the final for me ends up, I've got Garen beating Karlovic.
Is Karlovic in the final? Oh, no, he's not in the final.
I've got Mannarino beating Corder. So I've got a Garen Mannarino final. Call me crazy. I'm looking at it now. It's bizarre. It's not what I thought before doing this, but that's what I've got.
I've got the All-American final, and I'm going to go with... Oh, God, it's a tough one, but I'm going to go with the 2018 champion. I think he's going to do it again. I think Francis TFO starts the year off with a bang, answers all the critics, and gets himself going and wins here in Delray Beach for a second time.
Nice. Honestly, that was good. I enjoyed that. We had some good selections, which were, to be fair, I didn't anticipate it. Before doing this, I did not think I was going to have them reach the final. But when you do it like this, it's sometimes the best way because you're not really there's not as much bias in it because you're taking each match as it comes, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. Who was your...
Almino has actually got exactly the same as me. So that's good. Come on, Almino. Let's do this.
Who was
feels
your
with a bit more confidence. So what was it? My final?
Yeah. So who's your winner?
So my final was Garen versus Mannarino, and I've got Mannarino to beat Garen in the final.
Wow. Well, Mannarino was looking really good last year. That was indoor hard court. Don't know if that means anything in relation to his game.
I didn't see many French players doing well at this tournament in the past.
But that's what swayed my selection in this because I'm always a big proponent of home court like players doing well, and this tournament's shown there's been a lot of American winners in this tournament.
Operations, sir. That's why you don't give Evo a chance, mate. Evo's been there. He's won it before and reached the final. He's got one of the best records in the last 10 years here.
Mate, well, four out of the last 5 years has been an American winner, and the other time was Radu Albot. So
I bet Tommy Cole's got Evo going all the way.
Well, maybe he's got who knows?
Or Nori.
Not maybe he's got Nori. I know Nori won him a lot of money that one time, so he's probably got a little place in his heart for Cam Nori. But who's your dark horse, JG? I'm interested to hear your one.
Yeah, so let's have a little look. Do you want to do your one first?
Well, my one's pretty straightforward because my final is McDonald TFO. So I'm going Mackenzie McDonald as my dark horse for Delray Beach.
Yeah, and my dark horse is going to be Sebastian Corder.
Right.
Looking at the draw, he has a chance. Obviously, he's got to play John Isner relatively early on. That's going to be a big feat. And then after that, potentially a Tommy Paul as well. And then maybe a Mannarino or a TFO. However, I like Corder. I think he had a really good, strong year last year. And if anyone can do it, he can do it. Obviously, he's an American as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. In the chat, there's a lot of people disliking, Ken Lee here saying, Isner TFO is must-miss TV. Clearly, you're not a fan of the two Americans. If I'm being honest, not really my style of match either, to be honest. On the hard courts in America, doesn't really appeal to me much. Well,
Jackie's saying TFO is a sweetheart. So I think he has a lot of people have a lot of admiration for TFO, and Mela's saying TFO is gold. I think he's one with so much potential. People get disappointed he doesn't reach the potential. We've even said it, and he dropped down, didn't he? We were even saying maybe he should just drop down, do a bit of challenger tennis, find his form, come back again. I think he has done that.
So I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Thomas Rock. He said his dark horse is bye. That's a silly joke. That's a very dad joke. That's something Ben usually would say, but yeah, I appreciate it nonetheless.
Well, we got another Hinel Patel saying there, Mackenzie McDonald there for a dark horse pick, or maybe a main pick.
Oh, Hinel Patel does quite well sometimes. She always gets a few good predictions. I know she's a big Dominic Thiem fan as well. So I know he's not in this tournament. He's not ventured down to Delray.
Mella's saying TFO, the toe walker. I'm not quite sure what this means, but maybe he's walking on his tiptoes.
Yeah, just shout out to Thomas Rock as well for the super sticker. I appreciate that, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
I don't think you move in the leaderboard, but you're coming very close to Ken Lee in top spot there.
There you are indeed. Yeah, I mean, thanks to everybody who joined us for this one. Don't forget, if you haven't got all of your your selections in, I think you've got, how long have you got left to be able to do it? I think it's about,
I'll tell you now, mate.
Yeah, if you can tell us.
So you have, for Delray Beach, you've got 17 hours left. And for Antler, you've got 9 hours left. So get your predictions in soon. And if you've not already, join our group. We've got 91 members now. So you must have gained a new member. That's awesome. And if I just share our group.
Yeah. What, are you sharing the...
I'll share the link. You can talk, mate.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you meant you were sharing a screen.
Oh, no,
I'm
sorry.
just seeing Almino there saying, can't wait until February when you're all on my time zone for tennis, which, yeah, I think we're just going to screw us over a little
Well,
bit.
we're going to have to take some time off work probably for some of them, to be fair, because it's going to be pretty crazy.
Well, we can imagine when the Australian Open or the ATP Cup and all of these things are going to be running with it. It's going to be going throughout the night, and we're probably going to have to be doing some early morning watch-alongs, which is probably going to be kicking off at around about 8 a.m. or something, or something crazy like that. So if people fancy, I don't know if I'm going to be on these. You might see me with a cup of tea instead, but I don't know if I'm going to be able
Probably
to.
me eating my cereal in the morning.
Exactly right.
With my eyes closed. The camera might have to be off, to be honest.
Maybe we'll have to stay up for the whole evening and do a whole night of it. It would be like a soccer Saturday style. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but we'll get through it. Don't you worry. We'll still be providing it, and if we can't do the live ones, we will still be doing daily podcasts during the and well, definitely during the Grand Slam. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up there. Before we go, Ben, just remind me of your 2 picks.
My 2 picks are my 2 finalists. Dark horse being Mackenzie McDonald, and then the winner of the tournament is going to be, yet again, Francis Tiafoe.
Nice.
And
for
yours?
me, well, I've got to remember them now. I've almost forgot. So my winner is Adrian Mannarino, and my dark horse being Sebastian Corder.
Fantastic.
So let's see how that goes. Obviously, it's going to be, I think we've got some matches tomorrow. We've also got Antler matches and also the WTA Abu Dhabi Open as well. So check out all of our draw previews we've done for them if you've not already.
Yep.
And if you've not, also like the video, subscribe if you're new around here. And we'll see you later on in the week to do a results recap.
Yeah, definitely will. Appreciate all you guys. And yeah, join us for our next podcast later in the week. We'll see you then.
Cheers, guys.